was it, Johnny? Yesterday you did an appeal down the camera to Chris Eubank Senior, and I know you spoke to him this morning just how good it is that he's in the house. He's here with Chris's son.
Anna, seeing these pictures put a lump in my throat. That's a father and son, not a manager and a fighter, not a promoter and a fighter, a father and son. So regardless of what has gone on between them, Chris understands the importance of being here tonight for his son. And that was our conversation, and that was all just to remind him that's your son, regardless.
So you're saying you made the difference, Johnny?
No, just reminding him who he was.
Very quickly, psychologically, Conor Benn is watching on that arrival. What's that going to do? How is that going to get inside his head?
Well, those pictures we saw of Nigel and Conor watching, I am telling you, it's like, uh-oh. It's uh-oh, because now he's got his army.
I mean, the crowd here, when Senior was shown, they went wild.
You know what? I'm just happy for the Eubank family, the Eubank corner. I actually thought for Chris to just do whatever they've done, whatever conversation they've had, he's probably said, Junior, I'm coming with you. That was it, conversation done, ripped over. He's just here to support his son, and that would lift him so much.
Exactly, because we spoke about at the top of the show about we saw the different side to Chris at the press conference, a rather emotional side to Chris. You could see that it was really bothering him that he has had this estranged relationship with his father and that he might not be here tonight. A boost indeed for Chris Eubank Jr.
Well, it's not a negative, but I said all along that nothing really affects Junior. So yes, it's a positive, but I don't necessarily think it's a positive that's really going to buoy him up anymore. Well, I think it's going to have a negative effect on Conor Benn. You saw Conor and his dad watching the arrival, and when they saw Senior, they palpably paused, and it was a shock to them. Now, if you want to catch someone out, leave it until the last moment where they don't have time to readjust. So whether it was deliberate or not, or this man's masterpiece, I think it will play into Eubank Jr.'s favour.
Yeah, a lot of this week has been about the mind games between the two fighters, and it is continuing right up until the 11th hour. We know that Billy Joe Saunders is meant to be going into Chris Eubank Jr.'s dressing room to watch his hands being wrapped. But Johnny, we can see here now, he is an eager man. He wants to get in there now.
But at the end of the day, if they don't want to let him in, they will just not let him in. They will have to get a replacement. So the Eubanks will say, he's not coming in. What can you do? If you want this fight to happen, you've got to find somebody else.
But this just plays into exactly what you just said there, Adam. This surely will not get inside Junior's head at all.
Absolutely, and that's exactly how I would play it. I don't care who they think they're sending to the changing room. If we're not going to let him in, they're not coming in. They need to nominate someone else. You put people on the door that will not bow down and just don't let him in. And I suspected that would happen.
Conor Benn, though, he experienced something tonight that perhaps, Johnny, he's not so used to. He walked into the building to some boos, and now he's just have to watch Senior arrive as well, and he watched it in his dressing room. How does that get in his head?
Surprised us all at the weigh-in. Conor came in to kind of cheers. The one that was booed was Junior. Then this, reality's kicked in. Now all of a sudden, his mind's gone back to 2 years ago when all the holding of his career and the backlash from the public is thinking, really? Is this for real? So now the mind games are in the Benn household. And so, to me, I just think it's even Stevens. Now we're on. This man here, that looking at the camera, he's milking it. And he knows for a fact, just being there, not saying a word, says 1,000 words for his son to everybody.
I have to ask this, was this all part of the plan all along, do you think?
No, I don't believe it was. The conversation we had today, this was not planned. This was not pre-planned. I really don't believe that. It was a sincere conversation. I think tonight Chris has had a hard, strong think about this. And you know what? As long as those two, just for tonight, as a father and a son, forget about whatever beast going on. We all do. We've all had fallouts with our parents. Put it on. Just push it away. You still love your child, even if you don't like what they're doing.
But as we spoke about, the generations, the cross generations of this fight, knowing that you've got Nigel Benn, you've got Conor Benn, you have Junior and Senior here, it's like the whole puzzle is put together.
We're going to be watching something quite special tonight. Of that, there is no doubt. The interesting thing is really going to be, I think Conor Benn has been protected and shielded in the build-up to this fight. He's been training in Mallorca. Eddie Hearn's been very vocal up front in front of him, and I think he's been protected. The one thing he can't be protected from tonight is the atmosphere that's going to potentially be against him, because when we heard the boos on his arrival and the cheers on Eubank Jr., that type of energy, when you've never been in that situation before, can best for you unsettle you. So it's going to be very interesting to see how that affects him, because I think it will.